What's up, Van Dam fam? I hope everybody is feeling fantastic. I don't expect you guys to get much out of this episode, and I will explain why. Normally, I don't like surprises. Why is that? Because being surprised is a feeling of vulnerability. So, to avoid that, what do? Walk around with super heightened senses? Expect the unexpected every moment of the day? How about dropping expectations? What are expectations anyway? I mean, at best, they're hypothetical presumptions. Expectations set us up for disappointment by setting standards that have to be met by things that haven't even happened yet. Sometimes expectations replace reality, and they have people chasing their tails in a circle, and the bus is driving right by. What am I talking about? How about life plans? People say, I'm going to goof around till I'm 25, and then I'm going to get married and have kids. Okay, what if your expectations aren't met? What if you don't find that special person when you're 25? Do you force it? A lot of women force it because they want kids so bad. Sometimes they trick men into having babies. There's also arranged marriages, which is very popular all over the world. Kind of the same idea as a normal marriage. You're going to make it work no matter what. That's what you expect. How about when people become impregnated? I mean, they call it expected. She's expecting. They plan the whole life for that baby, and then sometimes the baby doesn't make it. That's got to be one of the worst letdowns expectations do. Very heartbreaking. I thought that I was going to get married one time, that by the time I was married, I had made my mistakes. I was ready to settle down, give it all I got. Figured I knew what it took to make it work. I expected that my evil ex did also, that she was going to make it priority. Well, she didn't. And she was a very basic woman who wanted a very basic life, which is not me. If I hadn't expected so much out of being married, because I was really committed to my word, my honor, to make it work. That's what I expected, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have fought so hard to stay in a shitty marriage. Shouldn't my future have been based off of the crossroads that I was at in real life with the wrong person, instead of based on expectations that were set before I ever even met her? I mentioned in the movie Headstrong, I went through a little downtime, state of depression. I'll talk about it more somewhere. But after the separation, I was in a big house by myself, lonely, too much time to think. My self-narration set my expectations to be more depressed. I would tell myself, what if my dog dies getting her teeth done? It happens. I know it happens. They say it's maybe not that uncommon. Well, guess what happened? So when the dog died, I felt entitled to be extra fucked up. And I told myself, what if my dad dies now? Oh my God, I will be inconsolable. I'll be helpless. So when that happened, because I had expected to be helpless, it kind of made me helpless. Like I said, it was like a feeling of entitlement. When I got out of my dark times, one of the things that really helped me was a piece of advice that a friend gave me. He was saying, take it one day at a time. I was so weak, I didn't have a full voice. I told him I can't imagine making it till the end of the day. It seemed like this big, empty, meaningless void where time wasn't a factor. I couldn't imagine. He said, well, sometimes you got to take it one moment at a time. Bam. That was some of the best advice that I ever had. My first date with Katie Forbes, I was having such a good time, and I was allowing myself to experience that. I was just looking at her, smiling across the table. This chick is so cool. I'm having such a good time. I'm so happy right now. I wasn't worried about if I expected to spend the rest of my life with her. Wasn't worried about anything. It didn't matter if we stayed up, if we called it a night, if we went to Mexico. Nothing mattered. She said, do you want to get a drink? You know what? I want to do whatever you want to do. You want to get a drink? Sure, I do too. No, that's fine. Anything. I'm just really happy for this moment. And that's living by the moment. That's going with the flow. You might hear me say that a lot of times when I'm asked about my plans for the future. I say I go with the flow. And that specifically means you have to drop expectations. Okay, so why would you do that, right? Well, this is just like a lot of the things that I've said in the past. You can reprogram yourself to do it. Why should you? You put too much into your expectations, and I believe that puts a filter between you and in real life. And really, what's wrong with being honest with yourself? If you get a dog and you say, I know I'm going to have to bury this dog someday, but it's going to be worth it because of all the love this dog gives. Are you being honest with yourself? Really? I mean, you know that you're going to have to bury that dog someday? You must plan on living your full life expectancy. You must think you and your dog are both going to live till the exact age that humans live to be. And I got news. People don't die of old age. I looked up the top 10 causes of death in the United States. Old age isn't on there. It's not on there anywhere. I mean, yeah, you get diseases and other spin-off ailments that come with age, but be honest with yourself and you'll be surprised at how that changes your perspective, how that affects your decisions, the choices that you make. All right. Now, there was a gentleman I had the pleasure of wrestling with several times. Great guy. Great to know him. Everybody enjoyed being around him. He was making plans with his family and what he was going to do the following week. It's Christmas time. Everyone's in good spirits. What are we going to do next week for New Year's Eve? He didn't make it. No one expected that. It's possible that I have the dates wrong because I didn't look them up before I filmed this, but I think that Brody passed between Christmas and New Year's Eve, and usually you don't expect it when you're going to go, which is the point that I'm trying to make. I've had a lot of wrestlers, peers, friends, guys I work with pass away. So many that it doesn't shock me anymore, but I still never expect it, About 20 years ago, a lot of the wrestlers were dropping dead from unhealthy lifestyles. They were taking pills and overdosing, for the most part. Killed a lot of them. Some on purpose, a lot of them on accident. I wonder how many people thought that they were going to lose RVD soon. Because I saw it in a few comments. Some people expected RVD is going to be gone this year too, because they couldn't separate an unhealthy lifestyle from cannabis use. I wonder, out of all of those people that expected to see me die, I wonder how many of them have passed. And here I am still. And I just took that picture 2 weeks ago. I think I'm looking like I know what I'm doing. People are always going to be confused by my non-conforming ways, because it's just not what they were taught. And in the end, it's always the same story. You can't argue with success. I wrestle overseas a lot of times. In the UK, there's this group called ICW. What's a pleasure for me is to see the support. Places like ICW, all the fans, all the wrestlers, they want to see their own promotion take off and be as big as it can be. They're all fans of WWE. WWE dominates the world. But there's a lot of groups that are looking to grow, even domestically, but it's kind of a special energy internationally. This guy here, his name is Lionheart. He was a really good wrestler. Had the pleasure of hanging out with him in and out of the ring. I think he was one of the best guys that ICW had on their roster. And everybody was looking forward to seeing him do really well, and for the whole company. You know, when I got to Impact Wrestling, he asked me find out who to talk to there. That's common in the industry. When someone has a gig, a contract, a job, people say, hey man, give them my info or find out where I can send a demo tape or whatever. Yeah, so Lionheart asked me before I started, and then when I started, you know, I thought about it, and I hit him up, and I said, oh yeah, I just remembered again. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll find out. I'll ask Scott Demore. When people want to send you videos to look at for consideration or whatever, what do? You know, and as you can see, Lionheart hit me right back with no problem, man. I know you're busy. Boom, boom, boom. I think I might have talked to D'Lo right after this about it. I'm not sure. Remember, I was going to, but either way, it was pointless because I couldn't have expected. But Lionheart hung himself 2 days after this message. Yeah. It always surprises me when my friends or peers kill themselves. Doesn't shock me, but it makes me surprised. I don't expect it. If you want to reprogram yourself to not count on expectations, just like everything else, awareness is key. And you know what else you do? Inside to yourself, when you make a statement like, I know I'm going to have to bury this dog someday, if you're being honest with yourself, put a little add-on on there and say, hopefully, or God willing, or whatever it is that you want to add on that'll keep you real. As I said, I don't enjoy being surprised. Being surprised that my another friend is dead is one of my least favorite surprises to get. Don't know what to expect. So why bother? Take care. I'll see you here again soon. Hopefully. Yeah.